Hi everyone and welcome to your first lesson on this new topic. Now this new topic is called special numbers. So over the next few periods we're going to be looking at different types of numbers. Okay, so lesson 1 is to do with multiples. So if you know your times tables you will be absolutely fine with this topic. Okay, so as always pause the video and try these 3 quick starter questions for me. So question number 1, 2 and number 3, write down your answers, do it without a calculator please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so question number 1 was just revising our previous topic. I want you to convert these 2 times to 24-hour clocks. So the first one is 7:25 p.m, so that's in the afternoon. So as a 24-hour clock that is 1925 hours. We add 12 onto this number 7 here to give us the 19. Okay, second one was 6:50 a.m, so as a 24-hour clock we write that as 0650 hours. Okay, question number 2, write down the type of angle that is less than 90 degrees, so you should have acute for that. Question number 3, you have to round the following to the nearest 1000, so 12,501, is that closer to 12,000 or 13,000? It's closer to 13,000. B, 369,765, is that closer to 369,000 or 370,000? Yeah, it's closer to 370,000, okay? Right, so today we're going to be looking at multiples, and then for the first part of the period and then for the second part of the period we're going to be looking at something called the lowest common multiple. So our learning intention today, we are learning that multiples are simply values in the times tables. So as I said, if you know your times tables, you should be absolutely fine at this. And we are learning how to find the lowest common multiple. So we'll do part 1 for the first half of the lesson and part 2 for the second half of the lesson. Okay. How will you know if you're successful? You will know if you're successful if you remember your times tables and you use them for multiples, and if you can apply sets of multiples to find the lowest common multiple. Okay, so your first example of this, example number 1, find the first 7 multiples of 3. The first 7 multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 and 21. It is simply the first 7 stations, if you like, in your 3 times table. So 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5, 3 times 6 and 3 times 7. So your 3 times table all the way up to 3 times 7. Okay, here I've just used the letter M for multiples, so that's the multiples of 3. Okay. Right, example number 2, find the first 5 multiples of 4. So again, we're just using our times table. So the multiples of 4, the first 5, are 4, 8, 12, 16 and 20. So 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3, 4 times 4 and 4 times 5, the first 5. Okay. So it's all about our times tables. Right, find the first 8 multiples of 7, so using your 7 times table. So they would be 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49 and 56. So your 7 times table all the way up to 7 times 8. Okay. Right, example number 4, you have to find the first 7 multiples of 8. So using your 8 times table all the way up to 8 times 7. So you should have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48 and 56. So 8 times 1 all the way up to 8 times 7. Okay. Right, state which of the following statements are true and which ones are false. So 28 is a multiple of 7. So is 28 in the 7 times table? Yes, it's true. B, is 35 a multiple of 8? So is 35 in the 8 times table? Yeah, it's false. It's not in the 8 times table. Okay. Is 44 a multiple of 6? No, it's not. 44 is not in the 6 times table. Okay. Is 90 a multiple of 5? So if you kept doing your 5 times table, would you ever get to the number 90? Yeah, you would, so it's true. Okay. Right, another example of this. So you have to make a list of the multiples of 3 between 20 and 40. So think about the 3 times table in your head. Think of the first number that comes after 20. 21 would be the first one, okay? We've just got to keep on adding on 3 here until we get to a number that's close to 40 but not greater than 40. So it starts at 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39. I stop at that point because if I added another 3 on, I would go to 42, and I don't want that. I want all the numbers up to and including the number 40, okay? Right, second example of this, write down all the multiples of 5 between 12 and 52. So think about your 5 times table. I need the number that is bigger than 12 but closest to 12. So the first number would be 15. Now you need to find the rest of them. So you keep adding on 5 until you get close to 52 but not greater than 52. So 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then I stop at that point. If I added on another one, I would go to 55, and I don't want to go past 52, okay? Right guys, so what you're going to do at this point is you're going to pause the video and you're going to try questions 1 to 5 from the worksheet, okay? Don't go any further at this point, I just want you to try 1 to 5 and then come back to the video for the second part of the lesson, okay? Make sure you've corrected your answers before coming back and you know what you're doing with multiples because we're going to be using that for the second part of the lesson today. Okay, welcome back. So, for the second part of the lesson, we're going to be discussing something called the lowest common multiple. So we need to write out multiples in order to find the lowest common multiple. So if we think about what these words mean, so multiple, we're talking about our times tables. Common, things that are the same. And then we want the lowest version of that. So we want to find the number that is the same, but we want the lowest version of that, okay? Sometimes, or a lot of the time when we talk about lowest common multiple, you'll see us just write it as LCM, okay? So, example 1. I want you to find the lowest common multiple for 3 and 4. So you want to find the smallest number that appears in both the 3 and the 4 times table. So if I write down the first 7 multiples of the 3 times table, and then I've got here the first 5 multiples of the 4 times table. So if we have a look to see what they have in common, you should see that they both have the number 12 in common. Okay, so that is our lowest common multiple. That is the first number that appears in both the times tables. Okay. Right, if we find the lowest common multiple for 7 and 8, so we're looking at our 7 times table and our 8 times table. Right, so there's the first 8 multiples of our 7 times table, and here's the first 7 multiples of the 8 times table. If we have a look to see what they have in common, so have a look to find numbers that are the same, you should see the first one that we come to is the number 56. So our LCM, our lowest common multiple, is 56. Example number 3, find the lowest common multiple for the 2 times table, the 4 times table, and the 6 times table. So here I have the first 10 multiples of all 3 of them. So the first 10 multiples of the 2 times table, the first 10 multiples of the 4 times table, and then the first 10 multiples of the 6 times table. Have a look for the ones that they have in common. The first one that they have in common, the lowest common multiple. So what is the lowest number that appears in both lists, or all 3 lists rather, for this one? You should see that it's the number 12, okay? What you should also see, guys, if you're having a look at this, is that there's more multiples that are the same, right? So if we kept going with the 2 times table, 24 would appear in all 3 of them. So there's plenty of numbers that are the same, okay? 36 would be in all three of them and so on and so forth, but we're looking for the lowest common multiple, so the smallest number. So our LCM is 12. And guys, that's what we're doing for part 2 of the lesson today. So from the worksheet that you've just been working from, I would like you to try question 6 tonight, okay? Remember to mark your answers and then upload it to the class notebook once you're done. As always, I'm going to be here to give you a hand, so just let me know if there's anything you want me to go over.